Eat it, new boy.
Do you really want me to
Eat it, new boy. Eat it.
Do you really want me to take a bite?
Eat the cake. Take me down to a paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Take me home, yeah. I'm Nick.
I'm Dan. I just want to point out really quickly, you were shaking with that one.
It's a lot of work being both a gun and a rose at the same time. I'm also joined, as always, by the screenplay fish, Chris, a.k.a.
Oh, what's his name today?
Kratos, the God of War, sent in
Solid.
by Da Vinci Gamer.
Solid.
I
Solid.
love that
I like
name.
it.
If you have a name for the screenplay fish, a nickname for him, let us know in the comments using the hashtag #NameThatFish. Dan,
Hello.
welcome to Screenplay, mate.
Thank you, mate.
I would go through all the rigmarole of introducing your past,
Just like give it a Google.
but no one
Find it.
cares.
I mean, not all of it's okay. Just keep some of that a little bit of secret.
Just keep
But
that
most
stuff
of it,
quiet.
most of it's okay.
Most of it's
okay.
pretty good. But
Yeah.
now you're one of us.
Now I'm one of you.
One of us.
Yeah.
And we are here to talk about remastered games. Specifically, do remastered games live up to your nostalgia? Danny boy,
Yeah.
if I may, D crowd,
Sure.
Big D. This is brought about because Burnout Paradise Remastered was announced overnight.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Give me your feelings.
About Burnout Paradise?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love Burnout. Burnout 2 was
Yeah.
one of my most played games on PS2.
Excellent game.
Oh, Crash Mode.
Crash mode.
Forget about it. Used to actually play with my little brother. The only game I could play with my little brother because he was cool, go surfing, skateboarding, all the cool stuff. I don't do cool stuff.
I know.
And then Burnout Paradise came out, and it was at that time when all those games come out on PS3, and I just didn't have time to sink into it as much as I would have liked. I played it, played the base game, drove around Paradise City, had the cool DJ who was also the DJ in SSX, I think. Remember when EA was
Really?
doing that like connected universe before Marvel was on
Yeah,
the scene?
yeah, yeah.
With that one DJ.
But it ended up like Universal's The Dark Universe, where like no one really noticed and then it just ended.
Yeah, and so I have played a lot of it, but it's just, those arcade races are, it's sorely missing from video games these days.
Here's a strong Nick Boy opinion.
Oh boy.
Burnout Paradise is the best racing game that has ever been made. It is my favorite racing game. It is the best racing game. It is the best driving racing game of all time. It feels the best. It's the most fun, and I'm terrified with this remaster that that is not actually true.
Yeah, well, it's not that old. You see, it's not like you're going back to something like the Shadow of the Colossus remaster, which was, like a 12-year-old game.
Yeah.
It's not going to have that massive change in mechanics, because, like, it was only, how long ago? Like,
I think it was 2008 or 9?
no way, was that 10 years ago?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
man. Yeah.
Oh my god, I have no
We're going
concept
back.
of time anymore.
No.
No,
But it wasn't the 90s.
Sure,
Like, yeah.
but surely not. I think it's going to be still a mechanically solid game. Otherwise, why would you look at remastering it at this point? And
I can tell you exactly why
like,
EA
there's
is looking at
dollars.
remaster. Because they cannot make a single driving game. Because
That's true.
every single driving game, they have driven Need for Speed into the ground to the point that that is a franchise that no one cares about
Yeah.
anymore.
You think
and
this
that's all
is-
they have.
You think this is like a tactic to try and be like, hey, we know we fucked up Need for Speed.
Yep.
Here comes Burnout's coming back. Let's gauge some interest.
Yeah, it's definitely all of these remasters are gauging interest. Everything is gauging interest. The problem I have, and it's not even a problem. It's just a fear. I just have a fear that I love that. I 100% at this game. This is one of those few games where I just went. I got every collectible, and I hate collectibles. I smashed every billboard. I just did everything, and I feel like if I go back to it now, I'll be like, oh yeah, we've really moved on from this kind of thing, and it's gonna taint the feelings that I have for it. And therefore, a new Burnout is that stops being something exciting to me. But if I don't have that Burnout remastered hit right now, I'm all for a new Burnout.
So would you say that that's probably the most anticipated remaster you've seen, would be this one? Because it's very hard for me to get excited about remasters unless they're a significant upgrade. And this one looks like it's just
It's basically an up-res.
just like an HD remaster, basically, like they did in the PS3 era and stuff. It's not like, once again, the Shadow of the Colossus one, which was like completely visually overhauled.
I feel like probably my most anticipated one was Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because Crash Bandicoot was just one of my favorite games. It was probably my most played game growing up. So when I always wanted a Crash remaster, and when that came out, that was a glorious remaster.
Yeah.
I mean, it was glorious also that it reminded you that Crash Bandicoot, not actually a very good game.
Yeah, I guess that's where your fear's coming from, is because having played a game that you anticipated so much, and then realizing those mechanics were pretty dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's an absolute fair thing, but I think Criterion are just incredible developers of racing games. They were doing it for so long.
Criterion were incredible developers of racing games.
What have they developed since?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are the Burnout boys still there? Boys with a Z?
Do you think they did with the thing how it's like, they're like, oh, we're working on a new game that's going to be this new revolutionary franchise, and it's just never come out because
it's just the remaster.
It's just never working. They're just like, we can't figure it out.
I mean, this is the other thing, right? Like, is something like Paradise, because, you know, for those of you who haven't played Burnout Paradise, was a sort of open world driving game.
Yeah.
Where you could just wander around this city, or drive around the city, and you would just drive into activities and hit a button and they'd start, and then you do that, and if you failed, there was just another one right there that you can go and do.
And it was like huge. That game was massive.
Scale-wise,
scale and the amount of stuff that was crammed into that
there
map.
was so much stuff, and it was all really fun.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
And it was really stunt-based. There were heaps of jumps and that sort of thing. But I wonder if that kind of game, we all love the idea of that, but I wonder if that kind of game is something that people actually want now, or do we all just want it to be a MOBA? Do we just want it to be a car MOBA? There's 100 different cars that you can
100
drive.
hero cars.
Yeah, and all the cars have a different power. Actually, this is sounding like a really good idea. Like a car MOBA.
We'll talk about this off camera. Don't give it to
MOBA
them.
even have lanes, which is like, that's car words,
Cars
man.
use lanes.
Holy
shit.
I feel like
we are in the wrong game.
I'm so glad you came here, because none of my other dumb co-hosts ever have any good ideas for video games. This is very exciting. What have you ever come up with? Nothing.
What's his name today?
I can't even remember.
God of War?
God of War.
Kratos, the God of War.
Do you reckon, like actual Kratos, he has a penchant for orgies, and us
absolutely.
putting him in a tank by himself is just like ruining his strong sexual spirit?
He's making moves toward Rabid Peach.
he really is towards that group of people.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
So this is my my next question. When it comes to something like a Burnout remaster, in my head, there's nothing I would change about it. That game is a perfect driving game.
Okay.
But something that I do appreciate in a remaster is when they go, okay, we're not just up-resing it, we're not just putting on a new, graphics.
Yep.
What we're actually doing is going, we're going to change the game to make it play how you feel like it played.
I get you.
And when can I tell you something?
You can lay it on me. I'll tell me all kinds of secrets. Safe space.
I'm worried Kratos is going to judge me as well. I never actually finished Shadow of the Colossus.
I hear that from a lot of people.
And so when I played the remaster, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Holy shit, this camera is total garbage.
It's not just the camera as well. It's because the Team Eco games have this really weird weight to the characters. So when you move and stuff, their jumping is really strange and their grabbing and stuff is really strange. But yeah, that camera is straight out of the late 90s.
But that's not how I remember it at all. I remember it as being like, oh yeah, it was pretty
Really?
good. Yeah, because I don't have that really strong attachment to it.
Right.
But I'm wondering with Burnout, if I go, oh yeah, I loved that game, the jumping was great, it handled so well, and crash mode was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna play it, and suddenly I'm
gonna
like,
be...
oh god, it's Shadow of the Cars.
Yeah,
it's just awful.
No, I think you're gonna be okay with that, because like driving games haven't really, the core game controls and like mechanics and stuff haven't really changed that much in the last
driving
decade.
hasn't changed.
Exactly.
We've just gone faster.
Exactly. And like it's only...
well, technically also we're now in space. Those two things. We drive faster and occasionally we send cars to space.
But it's a bit different when you're going from like a platformer where you have like a 3D character in a 3D space that can jump, grab, shoot, do all that kind of stuff. Like those have progressed hugely in video games to a point where there is kind of like that Halo model of this is how a first-person shooter works. It's almost like this is how a third-person game works now. This is how a third-person RPG works now. And driving games kind of nailed that way back when.
Yeah, it's like 1 foot on the accelerator, and then controversially another foot on the brake.
On the brake. And that's really
it.
And then maybe one of these ones. What's this called? Handbrake.
Handbrake and nitro. Sick nitro. Just pump that nitro.
Is there nitro in Paradise?
Oh
boy. Oh boy. Crank up that radio. Listen to some Guns N' Roses.
Oh baby. Now it is time for you guys to have your screen say about remaster games. I put the call out on Twitter, and we'll put the graphic right here. I assume we'll... the first screen say came in from, and I'm going to butcher this, at Steph Panicazio, I want to say. Steph, I hope I'm pronouncing your first name correctly. The nostalgia element is more time-dependent than game-dependent. E.g., yes, Skyrim 2011 Remastered was great, but Crash Bandicoot 1996 Remastered was definitely more nostalgic because we had longer to wait.
Yes,
which is
agreed.
kind of what you were
Basically,
talking about
yeah, agreed.
You and Steph, tied.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, at the Top Hat Gamer, honestly, if it's something that seems to have been remade from the ground up, like the Crash Trilogy or Shadow of the Colossus remaster, then they often exceed my nostalgia expectations. That said, they often lose a little bit of something in the process.
Yeah, there was this really interesting thing that came out when Shadow of the Colossus came out. A massive fan, I think it was over at Eurogamer, wrote a massive essay saying that the PS2 era graphics led to that kind of sense of wonder and discovery because they couldn't render all those the distance,
the fog, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it lent that kind of mysterious nature to the landscape, and they had to do all these kind of clever things.
And when you put it on a PS4,
when you put it on a PS4, and you can see to the end of the world.
Yeah, you just walk out of that sort of churchy style thing at the beginning. You walk out and you're like, oh yeah, it's basically just Albuquerque.
But yeah,
that. I assume.
We are in New Mexico now. But yeah, I guess that's an absolutely warranted fear to have.
At Balding Phoenix says, I think to truly appreciate a remaster, you must replay the original first.
Oh boy.
If only to scrub off your rose-colored glasses and be able to see what the remaster improved. It's very easy to misremember how good the game was, and a remaster would never live up to that. Balding Phoenix, you need a job.
That is...
Because if you're playing the original and then the remaster...
Oh my god.
No one's got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Come on.
You know why? Because he doesn't waste all that time growing hair. He just plays video games twice. All video games.
What's the growing hair thing?
His name's Balding Phoenix.
Right! Because the name. Gotcha.
Did anyone get...
It was...
Everyone's shaking their
7
head.
out of 10.
You guys will get it because there's a graphic on screen right now of a bald phoenix, isn't there, Will? At Miles the Ross.
Oh, we know him.
We know him. Says, no, our brains were in a developmental state when we first hit up those games, and it's distorted our memories. We remember extreme emotions surrounding those titles, not reality. He's just bitter because Halo sucks now.
That's true. That's true.
And finally, this tweet came in from @NickBoy, who says, if this tweet comes up with a media offline graphic, I'm going to beat that small editor to death with his Pog toy.
Oh, yes. Do you mean Pog?
What did I say?
You said Pog.
I don't care.
Okay. We're too old. Because I know what a Pog is. But just on that, we had a apology.
Oh,
we had an apology present.
Can we bring in the apology present? That would be great because
here it comes.
I'm not going to say it.
We won't say who it was.
No. But there's only really one person who edits the show, and I think yesterday that showed. So we got sorry about media offline, written to look, I would say, pretty much identical to
the media offline card,
and also the kind of note a serial killer would leave.
I was going to say the black and red color schemes on a clearly store-bought cake is making me feel very, very uneasy.
Yeah, I feel like my threat has been responded to with a similar threat.
Sorry about the death in your family. See you later, question mark.
Okay, that is it for today's episode of screenSAY. Let us know in the comments what you think about remastered games. Are you excited about the Burnout Paradise remaster as much as I am? And are you excited for Dan to really sink his teeth into it for the first time? Let us know. And while you're here...
I'm going to sink my teeth into this cake.
You take a bite out of that cake right now while I tell the people to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube here. And you can watch a bunch of excellent videos like this one right here, which was our Kingdom Come gameplay from yesterday.
It smells kind of like poison.
Put it in your mouth. Eat it, new boy.
Do you really want me to eat it?
New boy.
Do you really want me to take a bite?
Eat the cake. Good. Now show me the bite mark. Good.